Hi there guys, thanks for joining us on another board gaming night. Today we're having a look at Lost My Mummy from Lost My Games, and this is a new designer publisher called David Gumbrell. So this obviously you can see a small card game with some mummy artwork, and with me to show you the game will be Carla. Hey Carla. So, as usual, with overviews, we're going to give you the basic overview of the rules, and then you're going to show you some gameplay. It's not a very long game, so we'll probably show you most of the gameplay. And then Carlo and I will give you our thoughts on the game, but I think we'll also include my boys' inclusions in the game, because I think this is a pretty lightweight game. I'm pretty sure it's more aimed at, kids or families that don't play too many heavy games. So it says 1 to 2 players, 20 minutes on the box, and ages 7+. There's 72 themed cards in the game and 3 dice. So there are 3 mummies. We're playing a quick start game. There's different levels of games where you can get different types of mummies that you need to find. So we're just going to be playing the basic version. If you want to play more advanced versions, you can add where you need more cards. What is the point of the object of the game is on your turn, we're both going to start with the medium dice. There's 3 dice. Think of it as good, medium, no, other way around. Bad, medium, good. So they're kind of like D averages. The blue one has 2 4s. In fact, it has on this little cheat sheet card over here, you can see at the bottom. So the blue dice has 2 3s, 2 4s, a 5, and an eye symbol. And then, say for example, the red one has 2 1s, 2 2s, a 3, and the eye symbol. And why that's relevant, on your turn, for example, this would be my turn, I'd roll the blue dice. So I've rolled a 4, I draw 4 cards from the top of the deck, like such. And then what I'm trying to find is these cards over here with the little dice symbol, similar to my mummies. So for example, this one here has the blue mummy. If I find 3 more of these gems, so think of them as clues in the tomb, then I've found him and I flip him over and I've scored 50 points. Or 50 gold rings. But then there's some other action cards as well that I can do here. So for example, I can search in the discard pile for one of these cards. Or I can find a magical brooch which has 2 halves. Or I can curse one of my opponent's mummies. Yeah, so those are basically the average things. So we'll just carry on from that point onwards. So once all 3 mummies are found, the game will end. When the first person finds 3 mummies, the game will end, and then you tally up how much points you got. So the mummies we're using have 50 gold rings. For example, the brooch that you saw there a minute ago, that's worth 50 gold rings. And then there's some things that double up your mummy's reward or curse them, which is less. And like I was saying earlier, you could play for a longer game. So you're playing with the mummies that are worth 100 gold coins. And then you need 4 cards of the same gem to find them. And that's pretty much it. So, I'm going to stop here just to cut the video. But then we'll come back to you in a second with a gameplay turn. Gameplay! Okay, so this is the gameplay turn. You start off to see who's first player. You roll the dice. Whoever rolls the eye symbol gets to go first. But the eye symbol is generally not a good thing. When you roll that on your turn, you miss your turn. So I've rolled 5. How about you go first?
Okay.
So she rolled 3, so she draws 3 cards. So like I said before, she's looking for either, like you might see her mummies are sort of a turquoisey blue, a pink, or a yellow. Mine are orange, black, and a dark blue. So what do you get? The Pharaoh's brooch. Okay, so my turn. I rolled 4. So, look what I found. I found a Pharaoh's brooch, a dark blue, a black, and a double take. So this one allows me to, I can keep this, and on a future turn I can keep 2 cards. Like for example, in this case, I would have loved to keep 2 cards because both of those are things I'm looking for. But I can only keep one of these, and I'm not going to keep that. there's more brooches in this. I could keep that. I'm not going to keep that, so I'll go with a black one and dump that one. So I've got my first clue to where the black mummy is. What have you kept? A blessed tomb.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that when she finds that mummy, it'll be worth double the points. So it's 50 at the if you find it, it'll be worth 100 when she completes it. Unless I curse it. So I got 3. I got turquoise, yellow, and black. So clearly I'm going to keep the black, as Carla is looking for those. Dump those into the discard pile, and it goes to her turn. 5 cards. So the first person to find a swap dice card will most likely keep that, because then what you do is you swap. You can give someone one of these dice, and the other person gets the blue one, and then from then onwards you swap one person's dice with the spare dice. What did you find?
I picked up a pink.
Pink.
Or shall I say I chose a pink.
Okay, so let's see from my perspective, like that. So, roll the blue dice. I've rolled an eye, so I skip my turn. Ooh, thanks.
I picked up another... Did I just chuck that at you?
Yeah, another pink one.
Another pink one.
So she's got 2 pinks and the blessed tomb. 1 more pink there, and that's a 100-point mummy. 4 cards. So we've got a yellow. I can search in there for... I can see there's a black one over there, so that'd be useful. A turquoisey one, and a swap dice. Ooh. So the yellow one I definitely don't want, and the turquoisey I definitely don't want. So I could go search for that black one, which will be the 3rd black one that I need to find that mummy, and that'll basically be 50 points in the bag. But I could play... I think I'm going to play the swap dice. So what that means is I am going to give Carla the blue one, and I'm going to take the green one, or I keep the blue one and she gets the red one. You know what? I'm going to go with the green one. So it's your go. She's rolled an eye, so it skips her turn. So my turn, I get 5 cards. So you can see it now. I'm getting more choice. And if I really want to be mean, as I've drawn another swap dice, I can now swap her blue one with the red one. Or I can curse her blessed tomb or one of the others. Ooh, lots of nice choices to mess with her. So a blue one is what I need for this mummy on the left here. So curse a tomb, can find another half of the brooch. The yellow one is no good. So I'm not going to worry about the brooch at this point. And I'm not going to curse a tomb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap your dice for the red one. Ooh, sorry. There, 2.
Okay, so I'm going to search the sands. Keep that on the side, I guess. Which allows me to go look for anything.
You're hoping there's a pink one in there. Or you can find the other half of the brooch.
Mm-hmm. I know that's in here.
Yeah, move to the other half of the brooch. So she's got the second half of that brooch. When you put the 2 halves together, it forms 50 points. So Carla's got 50 points in the bag. Now my turn, which is skipped. She draws 1 card and doesn't want it because it's an orange. I get 6. Ooh, another swap dice. Search in the stand. Goes 2. Yellow.
It's funny that you go, ooh, another swap dice. What do you want to swap?
I
This time it makes it worse.
Yeah, that's true. So I got the black one. You know, I might just take that. Although the Blessed Tomb, I think I'm going to take the Blessed Tomb to make it double points. And then dump all those. 2. So I need 1 more black one. And then I found that mummy and it's worth 100 points. 5. See, the green one obviously gives you a lot more cards. So it's 3, 4, 5. Orange is obviously useful for me. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Search in the Sand and just grab this black one. So you can see this. So I've got 3 clues, which means I've found the mummy. So I flip him over. He's now worth 50 rings of gold. But because I got the Blessed Tomb on him, he's now worth 100. So that goes to the side like that. I've now got 100 points in the bag. Hey, found your pink one.
I did.
So same thing applies to Carla. She just found the pink mummy. And he had the Blessed Tomb on him. So now she's got 150 points in the bag. Because she's also got a brooch.
Roach. That would be a scarab booking.
So I've rolled 6. So as you can see, there's only 3 cards left. So the discard pile is shuffled up. And you draw the rest from there. Not the most interesting viewing, watching me shuffle, but I go there. So these are the 3 I've got so far. 4, 5. Well, I didn't shuffle that very well. So I'm just going to take that orange one. Goes to Carla. There's 3 swap dice in that 6 cards I drew.
You shouldn't tell me that.
Well.
Well, I'm going to dig in the sand then.
So she could swap this for any card. I suspect she's going to swap it for a swap dice. What was the other 2 you had? Pharaoh's brooch and then orange.
Yeah, I might just... Yeah, okay. I'll just swap dice.
Okay, so you can either change my one for the blue one or your one for the blue one.
I'll change mine for the blue.
Okay, so you got a more average dice now. So I got a 4. So what is this? Dark blue. Double take. Black. No good to me anymore. And a dark blue. See, this one could be useful when you roll in the green because you can get 2 on the same turn. But there's no reason not to take that. So
I miss a turn.
oh, miss a turn, and on the blue as well. So another 4. Yellow. Turquoisey, pink, yellow. So in this situation, obviously I've drawn nothing useful to me, all useful to Carla, so I don't have to keep anything, just ditch them all. And Carla's rolled the eye again. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh man, I wish I did take that friggin' double take now. So I'll take another blue, ditch those.
4.
Got another yellow.
Yeah.
Right, let's see if I can get another blue quickly. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. I'm going to take one of those oranges. Here we go.
I'll search in the sands.
Okay. It's kind of a race at this point now because she's got 150, I've got 100 points. If I finish off both my tombs before she gets any more points, then I would win with 250 to 150. But you just finished the yellow.
Yep.
Yeah. That creates a problem for me. As now you've got 200. Is that right? And I've got 100. So even if I finish my last 2, I only get to 200 points. But I think you get the general gist. I think we could probably stop the gameplay, yeah? But
You could do, I mean...
let's get another turn quickly. Another 6 cards. 3. There's the rest of the deck. Okay, so like I was saying, I mean, for example, there's a blue and an orange, so I could finish both my mummies here, or one of my mummies here, but that only score me 50 points, and I'm still, what are you on, 200, and I'll be on 150, so I can't, I need to have the Blessed Tombs on them to do anything, or brooches, but, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this double take card. And then that gets all discarded. This gets shuffled. And then it goes to Carla's go.
Make sure you shuffle that properly.
Did you roll the eye?
It's your turn.
Okay. Well, you rolled that eye a lot.
Yep.
I've got 5. 1, 2. Well, that could come in handy. 3, 4, 5. So Search in the Sand is going to be pointless as there's nothing there now. So instead, I'm going to give you this Cursed Tomb on your blue one. I can't play it on any of the ones that have been scored already because they are scored. Did you roll the eye again?
I did.
Wow. That's some unlucky odds right there. Another Cursed. 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to take the Blessed Tomb. Put it there. You'll go. 5.
Nope.
So 2 more blues to go. Ugh, I've rolled an eye now. 5 again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's that third one. So she needs 1 more and the game pretty much ends. But I've drawn 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a blue. So I've got 3 blues and the Blessed Tomb, which means this is a 100-point mummy. Right, you'll go, Carla. So that puts me on 200. Oh, actually, I forgot I got a double take. No, there was an orange one in there. 4 cards.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So, in case, if you're keeping score, I'm on 200, Carla's on 200. Is that right? Yeah, 100, 50, 50, yeah. So we're both on 200 at the moment, but if she gets that next blue one, she'll win by 25 points. Ow! She's cursing me. Wow. That better span out my wrench pipe. 6. Ooh. So that's 4. Let's give it a shuffle card.
Sure. Unless, of course, you draw something that... well, they're saying that the shuffling one.
Yeah, I still have to. So, these are just the first 4 I've drawn. There's my orange. So, there's no Blessed Tomb in here. So the next 2 cards could be vital. I got to double take. So if I can get a Blessed Tomb and the orange, I don't really know what that would do for me, as this would be 50 points, doubled to 100, back down to 50.
I don't think you can do that. I think it's already been... You can't curse and bless the same tomb. I don't think.
Oh, it just cancels these other out, basically, isn't it? So just go down to 50 points.
But I was going to say, why wouldn't you finish it? Because I've got 2... I've got... I know. So it's 100. It's 200.
And I've got 200.
And you've got 200. If you finish that, this isn't finished.
Oh, yeah.
You win.
It's basically a race, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I suppose it doesn't really matter what you bring out. We were in the same boat, weren't we? Yeah, I'll do that. So I don't need that. So I found my last mummy. Where is he? There he is. So, but this is cursed. So I have found all 3 mummies. That's worth 100, 200, 225. And Carla's got 50 plus 100 plus another 50 is 200. And there you go. That is literally a full play of I lost or just lost my mummy. So, we're going to just stop here to cut the video again and come back with our verdict.
Our verdict.
Alright, so you saw there that I've won our game of Lost My Mummy from Lost My Games. Right, so what do we think? I think this, you can buy this from their website. You could probably literally just type in Lost My Games and go to their website and you can order a copy. I think it's about a tenner maybe for the game. What do we think? Well, this is quite interesting. I mean, you saw how basic the game is. I don't think the game is really aimed at adults or veteran gamers or anything like that. I think it's ideally aimed at kids, maybe. I mean, it's a 7+ game. So, after our thoughts, you'll hear the thoughts of my two boys, Alex and Nathan, as we played it with them, and you can see what they thought of the game. But just from our point of view, I would say it's quite very low on strategy. I don't know about you, Carlo, but it's literally just roll the dice, draw some cards, choose one. There's not really a lot here for any sort of regular gamer, whether you veteran or light. I mean, this game is super light, but almost to the point of it's a non-game, really.
I think I'd be interested because I haven't heard my kids' verdict yet. So and we aren't going to say anything about how we feel about the game to sway their opinions. We want their true and honest opinions. But I think this game, I will believe, will probably be in my youngest's forte, if you like. He likes these type of games, and actually this will challenge him in his reading. It's kind of like set collecting, if you like. It's rolling the dice, it's counting the cards, it's all of that aspects of it. I feel like it's actually a nice little game for a young child to learn. Now, my youngest literally turned, less than a week ago, turned 6. So the 7+, I feel, I think I could probably drop it by a year, to be honest. I think an average 6-year-old could probably read most of this. My 6-year-old definitely can read all of the words here. Maybe not the rules per se, but the actual cards, he'll be able to read. So taking that into consideration, and taking consideration he lives with gamers, I think this would be up his alley. My 10-year-old, I don't know. From an adult's perspective, this is not a game I would take out unless I was playing. As a mom, playing with her kids, it's good. I think they'll enjoy it. As a gamer, I wouldn't, this wouldn't be my first choice. I think it's just far too light for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think even for Alex, as 10-year-old, it might be too light for him. I mean, he plays a lot of more advanced games than us. The artwork is pretty decent.
Yep.
I mean, it's got a sort of cartoony nature to it. The action,
people love the theme, I think.
Yeah. The play on the word, like, I lost my mummy and you're going to go find her mummies, is fine enough. I mean, it's not a very expensive game. It's not a very long game. So with that, I think the frustration of rolling the dice on the ice and missing your turn, I think that might be an issue. I don't even know why that's included. I'm not really sure. It should be,
the miss a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating. I feel like, I don't know. I think it would kill my 6-year-old if he got too many of those in a row.
Like you rolled it a ton in this playthrough, and just on that note alone, I think that can be very frustrating for a kid.
Yeah,
it's frustrating for anyone to constantly just miss your turn due to the luck of a dice.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can think of probably maybe 1 or 2 other mechanics that would replace that rather than do that.
I mean, to be honest, you could probably just take it down to it means a one card.
Yeah.
So we as a family would probably house rule that as a 1 card just because it would frustrate me. I have terrible luck with dice. Dice don't like me, so. But in terms of the theme, I think this would appeal. Like if you had like a couple of kids around, I think this would appeal, and possibly those lighter, those gamers that are looking for a game that to involve, silly little game that to involve, people that don't game at all except for Christmas Eve. Maybe this is a Christmas Day game for you. for those that are trying to you know, cross some family members over from the Monopoly board into something a little different.
Yeah, it doesn't take up a lot of space. You could play this on the go as well. I mean, from a rating perspective, for myself, if I had to rate this as an adult gamer, saying playing with regular adult, I say adult, even, you know, teens and that sort of stuff, I'd probably maybe give this it's very low, maybe 3 or 4. You know, because it's really not anything there for a regular gamer. But I think for a kid's perspective, when you're trying to teach kids how to play games and get them to play just with mechanics and stuff, maybe then the score will increase a bit more for that, from that perspective. But I don't know.
Yeah, from my perspective, I feel like this is great for Nathan to learn to read, to, you know, basic association, the set collecting, the you know, all of that. I think it's a nice little learning game for somebody my youngest son's age, so 6, 7. That's what I'm saying. I think the 7 is maybe a little high, but I can't think of one. We were trying to think earlier what game we could replace it with, essentially, and I can't think of any of his games now that, you know, by name. That I would replace this with, but there are some of the most basic, boring kids games that you buy at Argos that, you know, I would rather replace it with something funky like a mummy game. You know, the whole kind of Lost My Mummy theme would appeal to a child, you know, especially those that have got like a little bit more of a, you know, a gothy nature to them. I think this would be a perfectly acceptable variant for those style games. So
one last thing, I mean, you can, like I said earlier in the game, you can see there, it gives you different levels of play, if you like. So we were playing on the quick start version, but we have played the Artisan, Scribe and Grand Vizier, where Artisan you use mummies with 100 value and you need 4 of the same color to, it's exactly the same gameplay, it's just longer game. You know, you just need to find, you need to go through the deck multiple times to find them. And then the Grand Vizier is probably the more interesting one, where you play a 50, 100 and 150, so you need a 3, 4 and a 5. But that's pretty much it. So that's our ideas, that's our verdict. If you're looking from an adults gamer, we'll cut the video here and you can hear from Alex and Nathan to see what they think. Right, thanks for watching. Alright, so what did you think of Lost My Mummy?
It was a good game.
Yeah?
Yeah, I won it.
Yeah? You did very well in your last turn.
Yeah. You need, how you need to win is to get all of your mummies. Find all of your mummies. I did that. And how you do that is you get cards with stones on it. I also, there's a card what doesn't have a stone on, and it has something what you need to match. And if you do that, you get 50 points.
That's right, the brooch. That's very good.
I got 125 points.
And you used the last, to get the last gem you needed with using the shifting sand one, so you could look through the discard pile.
Yeah, and there's a pink there. Whoa!
So you liked the game, did you?
Yeah.
And would you play it with your friends?
Yeah.
And did you like the way it looks, the artwork and stuff?
Yeah.
what's your favorite part of the game?
Where it's like a racing game, and you have to collect all the gems.
And did you like the red dice?
No. I like the green dice and the blue dice.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. Let's speak to your brother and see if he liked it. Alright, Alex. What did you think of Lost My Mummy?
It's a good game, and out of the little two players I've played, it's probably top 5.
Yeah?
The mechanics of the game, as the tactic cards, where you can swap the dice of the other players and yours with the spare dice in the pile, and other things like Blessed Tomb, which doubles your thingy,
Your gold rings.
yeah, on that mummy, and Cursed Tomb, which you can play on the other opponent, which, well, does the opposite of Blessed. It's pretty good in the mechanic ways, and also the collecting of the cards, what you have to collect for your mummies, is quite interesting.
So when you're rolling the dice to look through the tomb.
Yeah, and other things in, like, me and Nathan, because he's probably little, we only played the little game where it takes 3 cards, 3 of that light colour on that type of mummy to, well, find it. But there's other modes where it takes 4 cards and you get 100 instead of 50, and then there's another mode which is 5 or 150. There's a brute, what Nathan said, which is worth 50 points if you connect it. So if you say on your turn use a double take, which gives you another turn, like to pick 2 things, you can pick up a brute, search in the sand for the other piece.
Cool. And so you recommend the game then?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. And what did you think of the artwork? All right.
The artwork's pretty funny. I like the idea of how they think the mummies look.
And did you feel frustrated by the missing a turn eye symbol?
No, not really, because I don't really get it.
Yeah, Nathan got it a lot more, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still won.
All right. Well, thank you for your thoughts, Alex.
He won with 200 points, and I think I got 125.
That's right. Yeah. So it's pretty close.
But it's because he cursed all my friends.
Yeah, I did that.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate your thoughts.
Goodbye.
Bye.